Hey guys, Sam here from Freshly Squeezed Samples, and I'm going to show you 8 super simple tips that you can apply to your drum programming. So the first one is ghost kick. So I'm going to pick a kick sample. I'm going to actually drag in a few samplers first. I'm going to pick a kick sample and make a 4-bar pattern. You might be wondering why I make a 4-bar pattern. That's incredibly long for a 4-on-the-floor kick pattern. But I'll show you why. So we've got 4 kicks here, 4 bars of kicks, 16 kicks. But on this last bar here, I want to add some ghost kicks in. Now, ghost kicks, coming from the drumming field, ghost kicks, you play them very quietly, very softly. So I'm going to turn the volume down quite a bit, turn the velocity up to about 80%. Just make sure that's a good volume. You can have the volume a bit higher. And over here, I want to add a little kick here. So you'll hear that a lot in tech house and deep house and so on. So that's ghost kicks. I'll just play through the whole thing for you. And you might want to play around with different patterns. You know, you could add one in here. You get the idea. Very cool. So, tip number 2 is using kicks as percussion. So I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to call it Tom. I'm going to delete all of this, make a simple 1-bar pattern, and put in something like that. Now at the moment, if I play it, it's just kicks. But if we transpose this up, say 12 semitones, you get a more tom kind of sound, an electro tom kind of sound. I'm going to turn the sustain down and turn the attack down. Oh, sustain down not that much. Attack up a little bit, just to get rid of that transient. So now we've got this. Very easy, very simple. Now the next one is note length. So when you're using hi-hats, for example, let's say we have a hi-hat pattern. Now we could have just a, your standard offbeat hi-hat, which sounds fine, but sometimes you might want to make it a bit more interesting. So what I might do is go into, first of all, make sure the sustain's at full, and I might say that I want this one here shorter. It has to be quite short because it's a hi-hat. Quite subtle, but it makes a huge difference. And tip number 4, related to this, I might adjust velocity on some of the notes. So I might turn the volume down here and make this third hi-hat a little bit more quiet. You can hardly notice it, but it does make a difference when listened to with the whole drum section. And you can do that with claps, you can do that with all kinds of stuff. I'm just using hats as an example there. So that's note velocity, and I recommend playing around with it. We could add that to the tom as well. We've already done it with the ghost kick in a sense. Now next one is delay, and this can add a huge amount of grooves to your drum section. If we add, say, a ping pong delay to this tom, we can get a cool effect. Turn the feedback down, turn the dry wet down. Just makes it more groovy and more interesting. And you can do the same with the hi-hats. If you're lazy like me and you don't want to add a load of 16th hi-hats in, you can add a simple delay, change both of these to 3, and you get this. Turn the feedback up, sorry. You have to make sure you turn the dry wet down quite a bit because you still want that offbeat hi-hat to be the most prominent. So that's tip number 5. Now the next one is linear layering. So typically when you layer, you layer 2 samples or sounds on top of each other, 2 or more, sorry. But you can also layer based on the time scale. So let's say we have one clap that plays, every second and fourth beat, like this. But we get bored of that. We can add a second clap in that plays only on the fourth beat. Now, a good example of this is Disclosure's Latch. If you listen to that song, you'll notice that they actually have 2 different claps that play. That's tip number 6. Now, the next one is Transpose for tension. So let's say at the end of 4 bars, we wanted something to signal the end of that 4 bars. We could grab this clap, make a 4-bar pattern. We could move this all the way down here or change the start. So I'm just going to move it to make it simple. And then we might transpose this down, say 12 semitones, EQ out the low, add a touch of reverb, and you get this. That's kind of cool, very easy to do. And you can also transpose, this is tip number 8, transpose for thickness. So say we listen to this hi-hat and we just don't like it, it's too light. Well, we can duplicate it out, maybe take off this delay and take down the attack a bit and pitch it down a few semitones. So that's how you can transpose for thickness. So there you have it, 8 very simple tips that you can use just to make your drums a little bit more interesting and sound a little bit better. If you have any questions or comments, do leave them and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, have fun producing.